Today we are pitting the latest Kona all-electric against the Ioniq Classic. The Kona is brand new for 2023. We're testing the 19-inch wheel premium model. The Ioniq is our trusted 28 kWh model of 2018, celebrating its 100,000 kilometers on this very test today. Because we're driving both cars simultaneously on the UK motorway on a 50-kilometer loop. What are we measuring? Well, efficiency, of course. So let's get the camera rolling and I'll talk to you in 2 minutes for the debrief. Okay, so you probably got the gist. Clearly, the Kona is consuming a bit more, but how much more exactly? Right, first let's take a look at the reference car, the Ioniq 28, and it has a speed that, as you can see, reaches about 110 kilometers. Not always, because it's very hard to be exactly at that speed. There are other cars, even though it was the night and it wasn't very crowded. Then elevation, you can see we start from about the 100 meter. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. It is a proper loop. You go back to the same elevation. It matters a lot. And then finally, last 2 mile efficiency. This varies quite a bit, but is centered around the 100 something mark, right? 100 to 150, very hard to tell on this particular graph, but you can see loads of regen in action when you slow down, and on top of that, the elevation reduces, right, when you are going down. So that's your reference car. We've got all the data on that one. Of course, on the Kona, we don't have the data. We just look at what is on the dashboard. We didn't connect the OBD. It's a lone car, so we're not going to be doing that. What do we get on the instant efficiency? Well, clearly, the Kona in black is always above the Ioniq in blue. There is one exception, which is when that regen is happening, the car is a bit heavier and it will get a little bit more from going downhill, as well as potentially reducing the speed. So more regen at that point, not really an advantage, frankly. But you can see that it mirrors very well the curve of the Ioniq, except always quite a bit higher, unfortunately. Now, if you look at the average consumption at any point in time, so this is more like a cumulative curve after 30 miles, in miles per kilowatt hours now. So you're achieving 4.2 miles per kilowatt hours by the end of the journey on the Ioniq. You've only been able to achieve 3.2 on the Kona, quite a bit less. Now we can answer the question of how much more the Kona consumes compared to the Ioniq 28. At any point in time, the reference is 1 for the Ioniq, and then each dot is over the last 3 miles what has been the consumption of the Kona with respect to the Ioniq 28. Well, you can see that that number is typically 30% more, right? So 1.3, meaning that almost at any point in time, you are about 1.3 plus or minus a little bit, right? And that is interesting because not only it shows the typical behavior on the motorway, but also it shows that at various speeds, at various conditions, on the way back we had the heating, on the way in we only had the heated seat. Well, more or less you're getting that 30% more. So is it a good result? Well, not really. We were hoping for a little bit less. Now these are the 19-inch wheels, which are not great for that. Hopefully you save quite a bit more on the 17, but we don't have the 17 at this point in time. And very importantly, we are just comparing what the car says. We know that on the Ioniq, the car is truthful. You only have an overhead of about 10% when charging on AC. However, I will come back on the Kona because it would be even worse if you had more than 10% overhead on the Kona. More on that later. That's it for now. Please like, subscribe and comment, and I'll catch you soon